Hello, Gary Champion, psychic medium once again with thoughts for the day. Not my thoughts, but from the other side. Late last night, I heard postulate the theory that all things are possible. And I thought that sounded awfully familiar. And I looked back to some videos I've done, and I did the same thing, only about love. So postulate's apparently a popular word on the other side. And I had to look it up then, I had to look it up now. Postulate means that we're assuming that it's true, that it's not a theory. Postulate the theory that all things are possible. What it means is assume that this is true, a fact. Is something true a fact? Semantics. Yeah, and I think what they're talking about is me, and I'm passing on to you because it applies for everybody. That the only time I have not succeeded at something, I found myself holding myself back. Don't do that. Voice inside your head that doesn't come from the other side. There's two voices you can hear in your head. One comes from you, where you're telling yourself stuff to do, and you think it's correct because you're hearing it, and really it's just you telling you something. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it true, doesn't make it a fact. The other side tells me something, I always assume it's a fact, that it'll happen if they say it will. That's not too complicated. I'm saying things, but I'm not really remembering them. Postulate the things that all things are possible. So if you go about life assuming the fact that all things are possible, then you're going to generally succeed more than you fail. And probably most of those failures are because of your lack of faith. You can go down a road and everything looks good, and you're postulating the theory that all things are possible, and the self-doubt creeps in, and other people tell you things. I remember when I first started doing this, I didn't tell anybody because people will have a way of screwing up whatever it is you're doing if you're successful. My wife and I have talked about this, that two people who have a successful relationship, you really don't want to tell anybody else because there's a lot of haters out there because they don't have one. What they've got is a crappy, barely doing relationship, which a lot are. And I go back, I don't know how many years ago, 15, 20, at least 20 years ago. I was working in a factory making something, and two girls were sitting there, and I was a tech service guy. I was the one supposed to know how things ran. And the two girls were talking, and I just sat down and caught the end of a conversation. And the one across from me was saying, "Ooh, I've got to go get my lunch for my man. My man depending on me to bring lunch over there, and I want him to be happy." And she went on about it. I thought, that's unusual. You don't hear that much. And she got up to go, I guess, get some lunch to bring back to the table because her husband was going to be getting off of his part of the shift and was going to meet over there and share a sandwich. She got up to leave, and this girl next to me, and I didn't look at her. She said, she's always going on about her man, that she's going to do this for her man, and I wouldn't do that for my man. She's always, her man is special, and her man loves her. And she got on for a while, and I said, well, because she cares, her relationship works. Women who don't care about the men they're married to, they don't do things for them. Why should I do that for mine? He never does anything for me. These are marriages that don't last very long. You don't do for each other. And I'll tell you, honestly, my wife and I do things for each other without thinking all day long. If there's something she needs, I'm for that. If I can do something, if I can do a little laundry, if I can fix things, if I can, anything I can do, dishwasher, cleaning the floor. Not that that's her job, because it isn't. It's my job too. But most men won't do that stuff. And sweep the front porch and water the plants. And these are things I do, as well as I see that she needs something. I'll ask her, because I can read her mind. It's part of being a man. I say, would you like to have one of those? She said, yeah. So it's not a problem. People won't say often what they want for fear of not getting it. But it's little things. Would you like a cup of coffee? Anyway, this girl was saying how she wouldn't do for her man. I was saying, well, she's just about the only couple I see in here that is happy. They're always happy with each other. So maybe there's something about that. This girl got up and left when I said, maybe you should try that sometime. It might bring you closer together. That she cares so much for her husband, she's willing to stop what she's doing and go help him. What a great relationship. Anyway, where was I? I drifted off into Loveland. I think that things don't happen in your life, in your job, in your relationship, because you really don't believe that it's possible. Even if you don't believe it's possible, if you give it a try, you might be surprised at the results. Open a door for a woman. Compliment her on how she looks. My wife always looks great, so it's not hard for me to do. I notice her. Postulate the theory that all things are possible. Don't give up on the idea of something, even though maybe you failed at it. And I actually heard that this morning. I was in the car early coming back from something that I had sort of not done well at. It really was bad. And it had nothing to do with work. And I got back home and I heard it. Postulate the theory that all things are possible. I just maybe lost faith that things were possible. Therefore, I saw it cause myself to fail. Interesting thought. You too have guides that are just as happy to see you succeed as mine are. Like this woman that wants to see her husband happy. And I was sitting there when she came back with him, and she handed him a sandwich and some things. He said, thank you very much. And they sat in silence and kind of looked at each other, had that loving look at each other, and kind of ate in silence. And I just thought, well, I'm in the way here. So I got up and left. But it's easy to see people in love because they do things for each other and they believe that love is possible. Works the same thing. You give up on something before you really pound it into the ground. I might fail at something 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times, and eventually it works for me. And I base that on my theory, Gary's theory of don't ever give up. And pretty much no matter what it is, I'll find a way to make it work. We've been making some jam and jelly and stuff, and one didn't work very well. It was my idea. My idea failed. And I kept trying it, and eventually I conceded defeat because I just beat that thing to death. There was no other way to make it work. So until you give it a good go, don't give up on it, because I'm going to postulate the theory that all things are possible. I'm going to carry that around with me. And if I believe it's possible, then it'll happen. It generally does. Send those good vibrations out there. Because it comes back to you. And your guides on the other side will help you accomplish things that you want to do that you think you can't do. That's another theory of mine that I'm going to postulate as fact. That together, there's nothing really you can't do if you don't want to do it. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.